even the most massive experiments that are undergone by psychiatrists are biased and full of fraudulent methodology. Now, if you look at the reports of the proper scientific method being applied in proper experiments, and you compare that to psychiatric experiments with patients, it's a joke. Now, let's talk about FDA.gov, drug safety, drug recalls. This is 2011 alone. October 19, 2011, Insight Pharmaceutical recalls Nostrilla nasal decongestant due to bacterial contamination. October 3, 2011, Superior Metabolic Technologies Inc. recalls Uprising 2.0 because the product contains Superdol, which is a synthetic steroid, making it an unapproved new drug. September 15th, 2011, Qualitas Pharmaceuticals issues a nationwide voluntary recall of oral contraceptives. August 24th, 2011, H&P Industry Inc. recalls a lot of povidone iodine swab sticks. On and on. We get 2011, August 2nd, American Regent initiates voluntary recall of 17 lots. And so the list goes on and on and on. And going 10, 12, 20 down. February 18th, 2011, Upshur Smith Laboratories announces expansion of voluntary nationwide recall. Affected products include amantine, amlopidine, androxybaclofen, bethanyl janotivin, and oxybutynin. So going down another 20 of them. Teva Pharmaceuticals USA issues a voluntary nationwide recall of metronidazole tablets. So I see about 30 recalls, and I'm going to slaughter the names and all that, so I'm not going to really go into what they are. But when we look back at right when you go to the home page of it, when I clicked on the FDA and Gov and drug safety. You see, it starts off by saying this: 7/26/2011, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has reports of serious central nervous system reactions when the drug methylene blue is given to patients taking psychiatric medications that work through the serotonin system of the brain. Now, it goes on to say that the problems that these people experience is serotonin syndrome, which includes confusion, hyperactivity, memory problems, muscle twitching, excessive sweating, shivering, shaking, diarrhea, trouble with coordination, and/or fever. Now, when you consider that so many people in the population are taking marijuana and drugs like that affect your memory, and so many members of the population are abusing alcohol, they're going to chop a lot of these symptoms up to other things in their life. So part of these problems is people aren't noticing the symptoms because they're saying, oh, it must be something else, But really, once you do the studies, and once you do the thorough studies, once the magnifying glass is really put on the drugs and the pharmaceutical industry and the companies, you start to see all kinds of recalls. And when you're talking about voluntary recall, I think it's more of a negotiated, forced recall. It says, you don't recall this, we're going to have to go after you. And they might even give them some time to choose the proper date to recall it that's best suits them and their financial needs. Now, we look at the tables of psychiatric medications with serotonergic activity. I'm completely against all these medications. Paxil CR, Paxiva, Luvix CR, Prozac, Serafem, Symbyax, Zoloft, Celexa, Lexapro, Paroxetine, fluvoxamine, fluoxetine, sertraline, citalopram, escitalopram. There's also the serotonin norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors, the SNRIs, which are the venlafaxine, desivin, lafaxine, duloxetine, Effexor VR, Prizitic, Cymbalta. Okay. You also have the tricyclic antidepressants, the TCAs, the amtid, amtritol, Elavil, Indep, Etrafon, Limbitrol, Triavil, Norpramin, Petrofrane, Anafranil, Tofranil PM, Janamine, Prominine, Prezamine, Pamilar, Aventyl hydrochloride, Vivacityl, Zineclon, Zonolon, Saliner, Sermonitol. There's a bunch of other TCAs I won't get into. And then there's the monoxide oxidase inhibitors, MAOIs. You have the Marplan, Nardil, MSAM, Eldepril, Zilipar, Imparnate, Siligline, Phenelzine, Isocarboxazid, Tranylcypromine. You also have other psychiatric medicines such as Acidin, Lidimol, Cerazone, Desrail, Oliptro, Triolodine, Wellbutrin SR, Wellbutrin XL, Zyban, Apolazine, and the list goes on and on. So all these things are messing with the serotonin activity in your brain. Other chemicals are naturally found in nature. Other prescription drugs, will cause chemical reactions in these people. And the recalls are endless. And they're constantly swapping out one drug for another. It's a losing war that doesn't make sense. To treat the ills of society like protesting and people practicing deviant behavior, social deviance, as sociology would refer to it as. This, my friends, is not the solution. The solution is very simple. It's incremental understanding of what is going on through sociology and studying society's ills, studying the microcosms and the macrocosms of society, studying the different cultures and how they interact with each other. Just like the drugs have negative interactions with other drugs, especially the common drugs like alcohol. I mean, how many alcoholics are going to go take a prescription drug and all of a sudden sober up and never go to alcohol again? Or do the psychiatrists know that this person is going to go back to alcohol? They know it's going to conflict with the drug they're taking. They know it's going to cause them damage, but they don't care. When you're making $250,000 a year, it is more than just a conflict of interest to diagnose people. And even if you separated that job, one person's job to diagnose, another person's job to receive the patient, and and do the weekly checkups or bi-weekly, however they choose it, monthly, bi-monthly. Now, even if you split that up, the conspiracy would still easily exist. It would adapt. New regulations are not the answer. The answer is to get rid of psychiatry completely, with only the few exceptions of extreme cases like brain seizures. Okay, only the irrefutable, what you may refer to as mental disorders. I still hold the stance that mood disorders do not exist. Mental disorders, as they have been presented to you, do not exist. What does exist is only the extreme mental disorders, like full body seizures. Okay? I do not believe in epilepsy or any fairy tales like that. Okay? These people went from saying they're possessed with devils and demons to saying your brain is malfunctioning because there's some kind of demon cell in your brain, or there's demon cells that aren't communicating. So they went from saying your soul is possessed to your brain is possessed. I didn't buy it the first time, and I'm sure as hell not going to buy it the second time. And when they come out with the next wave of bullshit to control you for deviant behavior, I'm not going to buy it that time either.